Hey guys, welcome back to the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, episode 56, the weekly podcast covering all things from all four corners of the world, if you believe in the Flat Earth Society, if not, just from around the globe. And I'm joined by the co-host of the show, Rich.
How are we doing, mate? I think got me off to a chuckling start.
I thought that was pretty good. I've been working on that for a week.
Nice. Flat Earth. Definitely flat, of course it is.
Flat Earth, I don't know if it's a social media thing, mate, but I feel like I've got air quotations all around with my hands. Flat Earth Society is almost a thing that people are talking about, and I'm not quite sure why.
There was a brilliant accidental, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, accidental partridge or something, but the Flat Earth Society put a message out saying we now have followers from all around the globe.
You can't teach that. You actually can't teach that.
The genius of it. I love it. Anyway.
What did he do? Right, you're part of the Flat Earth Society and you turn up to the annual AGM at the Flat Earth Society. What's on the agenda? Earth's flat? Yep, tick. Excellent. Cool. Everyone can go for another year.
Yeah, confirmation. And then let's all have a discussion about how rubbish science is.
Oh, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. But one thing that is phenomenal, Rich, is Lyndon, one of the guys who started writing for the websites, finished the first article, and we've got that bad boy on the website. Now, the website is still a few weeks away. I keep saying a few weeks away. It is a few weeks away, but it's full of...
moving target.
It's a moving target, but it's full of good content. Lyndon's the first guy to get in his article. That's loaded, ready to roll. So huge thanks to Lyndon. It's a really good article, and it made me smile.
Too right, yeah. I don't like his neighbour either.
Yeah, the reasons I don't like my neighbour is number one.
That's top work. That is top work.
It is very good. It gets cricket across, and the organic feel of kind of backyard cricket. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. He's absolutely kind of hit it on the head straight off, hasn't he? First article in, and it's exactly what we're looking for. So, looking forward to hearing a few more. And it even inspired me to start tapping away a little bit as well. So we'll see. Might have my first published article since I used to have to write all our sports reports for our lazy sports journalist.
Oh, that's awesome, Richard. Looking forward to seeing him, mate. And I think it's a nice time to put a few cheap plugs in here. The cheap, because they come out of my mouth, and my mouth is cheap. Now, since we first started, the viewership around the podcast has gone up, and we average around 200 to 250 listens every single time we put one out, which is phenomenal. So a big thank you. And they come from a multitude of different mediums. You guys listen through Google or Android or YouTube. If you are on Twitter, make sure you drop us a follow on Leading Edge Pod. Facebook, Leading Edge Cricket Podcast. There's always stuff on there as well. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, go over to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. If you like Cricket Captain as well, we're into the third season of playing Cricket Captain 2018. There's about 80 people every episode who are enjoying the series and going, Bobby, you are not very good at this game.
Brilliant. I've not seen it yet. Sorry, I can't quite get myself there to have a look. But keep going, Rob. Keep going. You'll get better. Hey, just a quick one as well. Let's get some reviews out there if we can on iTunes and all that sort of stuff. Not crap reviews, obviously. Don't bother with those. But give us a cracking review. And if you've got, make us go and have a look over there. If you ask a question, if you put a review in and ask a question on the review, we'll make sure we discuss it at length on this podcast, Rob. How do you reckon that is?
I reckon that sounds bloody good to me.
Give us a 5-star review and then get us up in the world a little bit. We've kind of been treading water a little bit, and with how busy everything's been, but we're ready to get going now, aren't we? So get a review on there, get us up the charts or whatever you call it, and stick a question on with your review, and we'll chat.
Can't bloody wait. Now we were just chatting off air before we came on, and Rich, I shared with you my Sunday. So I just want to share this with the listeners because it sums up New Zealand, backyard New Zealand, raw, rugged, rural. And today was the top flight. So I'm talking football here. The top flight league in New Zealand. It's a semi-professional league. I went down and watched the game between Auckland City and Tasman United. 35 minutes in, stray dog on the pitch, match stop for 10 minutes while the dog ran around. In the end, a guy from the crowd jumped the barrier and chased the dog off the pitch. That is top flight New Zealand football for you.
Man of the match performance there.
Oh, he got a massive cheer as well. He was loving it.
Was it a bigger cheer than when I headed the ball back at Northampton in the Rochdale end?
You know what? That came up in conversation today.
that was one of the greatest moments of my life.
The ball flying behind the goal. Striker missed the goal. Rich throws an elbow into me and rises above everyone else in the crowd and heads the ball straight back onto the pitch.
Hey, not just on the pitch. I cleared the 18-yard box from the stand. The best header of the game.
That was epic. That was absolutely epic. And the guys are still talking about it today. I'm still talking about it today. You're talking about it today. And we've got 200 listeners that are listening to it today, Rich. The thing's never going to end.
Rochdale folklore to kick off the podcast. That's why you tune in.
It is. Right, let's kick straight into some cricket news.
Right, we're going to lead off. We are into Sri Lanka, monsoon season. Nobody's talking about the rain, are they? Maybe everybody's talking about the rain. So anyway, the big news as we got to head to the fourth ODI, which was played yesterday in Pallekele, sort of Kandy, was a warm-up footy match injury to Johnny Bairstow. Ankle injury. I mean, come on. I mean, we've been saying Johnny Bairstow's been struggling a little bit for form, but there's no point, trying to pull one in a football match, is there?
Exactly. Someone's just had enough and going, I'm sick and tired of you playing around a straight one and just stuck 2 feet through him.
Exactly, yeah. Get on off stump, lad. Anyway, Hale's got the nod to replace JB. England 2 up after the first 3 ODIs, but let's get a quick catch-up, shall we, of what happened in the third ODI before we talk about yesterday's fourth ODI. So, another rain-affected game, obviously. Sri Lanka 150 for 9 off their 21 overs, rain obviously restricted. So 36 and 35 at the top of the order for the 2 openers, Dickwella and Samarawickrama. 34 for Captain Chandimal, but that's about all of interest. 3 for 17 off 4 for Tom Curran and 4 for 36 for man of the match Adil Rashid. Pretty handy stuff. Currans are taking over the world, Rob. We've already talked about this before, haven't we?
Yeah,
there is a third
good.
Curran coming. Yeah, they are bloody good. In the English reply, 41 at the top of the order for Roy, failures for Bairstow and Root, but then 58 not out for the in-form Owen Morgan, and Ben Stokes got himself some time at the middle, 35 not out of 24 to see England over the line, 153 for 3 off 18.3 overs. So a nice easy win, 7 wickets, 15 balls remaining, steady as you like, on to the fourth.
Yeah, easy performance by England. We spoke about it before the series started. Sri Lanka are significantly outclassed at the moment in all facets of cricket, especially one-day cricket, and England are rubbing their noses in it good and proper.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2-0 up, 3 ODIs played. Obviously, the first one was abandoned, so we're going to the 4th or 5th of the 5 ODIs. England needing a win to wrap up the series, and that's exactly what they did. They won by 18 runs, a Duckworth-Lewis result. This monsoon is the absolute star of the series so far. Every single game has been impacted by rain. Obviously, December is when that comes around. It's going to be a lot better for the test matches. But at the moment, it's monsoon season. There's a lot of people chatting about what on earth were the planners thinking about in this. When it rains in Sri Lanka, it properly rains. It comes down about centimetre thick, it feels like, the rain as it's hitting down. So when it rains, you haven't got a prayer of getting much in. So anyway, let's get on to this one. So in the first innings, Sri Lanka, they batted first, 273 for 7. They did bat 50 overs, remarkably. 52 for Dickwella at the top of the order, Chandimal 33 at 3, Shanaka 66 and 44 for Pereira. It's that lower middle order that seems to be trying to get them out of trouble when the games go a bit of distance, don't they? But 273 for 7, pretty good score. In response, England got it over the line. They ended up winning by 18 runs, but obviously Duckworth-Lewis was well and truly involved, as we've said. It finished 132 for 2, and England needed to be, because of the only a couple of wickets down, they needed to be at 115 at the point when the rain came. It was a really, really kind of delicate balance as well, wasn't it, Rob? We'll get to it in a minute, but if it wasn't for a strange, everyone thought it was a wicket, but it wasn't a wicket, Sri Lanka may well have won this game. So anyway, let's have a quick look at the England response. So 45 for Jason Roy, 12 for the recalled Alex Hales, who was stumped on a really tight one.
Yeah. I
don't know what people's views of that one, but that was tight. I could have easily seen that being given not out. Root, 32 not out, and Owen Morgan, 31 not out. Like I say, continuing his good form, gets the man of the match award. Wickets, anyone to talk about, really? Danajaya, 2 for 27. Yeah, bowling performances. Malinga bowled well again, none for 15 off his 5. But yeah, it was all about that dismissal. There was was it Root flick one in the air? I forget now. Flick one in the air. They took the catch, and then they realised that a no ball had been called. Yeah. Was it a front foot? No, it was because there was too many men. The fielding restrictions, wasn't it? Too many men not inside the circle. That was what changed the game. The rain came. They took them off. Never got back on again. England 3-0 up. They win the series. Job done.
Yeah, it's just such a an average cricketing series, and more so not because of Sri Lanka's poorness, but because of the weather. It's a damn squid. I can't remember a time where I almost feel less interested in an England series than I do for this, and it's such a shame because Sri Lanka always used to be a really strong tour to go and watch. There was great spinners, there was great batsmen. Now it's, this Sri Lanka team's not very good. And two, they're having a monsoon season. So it's just such strange off and on series. And hopefully by the time Test series rolls around, they'll get a little bit of sunshine to be able to progress.
Yeah, you hope so, don't you? It's just one of those. It's not really capturing the imagination. I was, woke up yesterday morning, we're getting ready to go and watch a bit of footy, have a few beers and all that. And, cricket's on. I'll have another half an hour in bed. It just didn't make me want to get up. It was just, okay, great. Sri Lanka have got to the end of the innings. Great, whatever. It's just not there, is it?
No, one thing for England, though, is they are so dominant and they look everything we expected them to be, given the huge reputation that they've got these days. They are gearing up superbly for the World Cup next year.
Absolutely, and that's one thing I know we want to talk about, isn't it? So when the fifth ODI is finished, we'll have a quick recap of that tour, and we'll have a look ahead as well. There's a lot of one-day cricket going on at the moment, isn't there? Again, there's been a couple of Test series being played, but now it's the white ball stuff for a few teams. So it'll be good to have just a little look ahead. We're less than a year away now, so it'll be nice to just see where everybody is as we work forward to it.
Yes,
but hope. You imagine? So I was just going to say, you imagine England are going to wrap this series up 4-0, assuming the weather allows.
Yeah, that's it. Winning Colombo, go and win. There's only one T20 game, and then it's into red ball cricket in November. Now, I'm not a Sri Lanka expert. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in November. My guessing is it might not be great, Rich.
It's going to be a bit up and down. The times I've been there were kind of November, December time, or late November, December, and it's been really, really nice. But there will be a little bit of rain here and there. That's the way the country is. It's so hot and humid. You're going to get it. But I mean, one of the memories I've had in Gaul for a Test match, you would go off. It would absolutely chuck it down. You go off, duck across from the bus stop into well, I have to get the name of the pub now, dodgy little drinking den across the way there. And, an hour later, you look out thinking, there's no chance of cricket again for the next few hours. You look out, obviously the sun's out again, and they're about to come back out and play. It dries so quickly. So even with rain, with the humidity and the heat, once it gets away from monsoon, then it will soon, you can soon recover from a bit of rain, let's say. It's not like in England where if you get a bit of drizzle for a few hours, it's day done almost, isn't it?
Yeah, so you could say it's 4 seasons in one day, aka crowded house.
Oh my God, you've been in New Zealand too long, mate. Crowded house.
I know.
What year is it? I know everyone says New Zealand's a little far behind, but my goodness, mate, yeah.
Oh, it's just like my dress sense, mate. It's stuck in the 80s.
What, you're wearing ill-fitting clothes that you wore in the 80s and stuff when you was a child?
I'm wearing age 3 to 4 George stuff.
You've got your little Hulk T-shirt, one of them like print all over.
Yes, I had one of them. It was more Hulk Hogan than the Hulk, but I do remember having the Hulk T-shirt, an actual Hulk.
That explains a lot.
It does explain a lot. So England will roll on and they'll wrap up that series. Hey, I feel disappointed. I shouldn't, because England are 3-0 up or 2-0 up, 3-0 up, 3-0 up after 4. I just feel it's a disappointing series, and I just hope that when it gets to the Test matches, the pinnacle for us. It raises its game, the weather's good, and we get a decent contest.
We're going to move on now to a subject we don't really want to be talking about, and it involves a couple of individuals. One we know for a fact has been up to no good, and another guy, a legend of the international game, and a Sri Lankan legend as well, Rob. Sanath Jayasuriya has got himself in the news in the last week or so. So he's been charged by the ICC with 2 breaches of its anti-corruption code. 49-year-old former... They call him a former all-rounder. I suppose he was an all-rounder, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I'm going to call him a batsman.
One-day international all-rounder, maybe?
Yeah. I think the pedant in all of us would probably say ODI or white ball all-rounder. But anyway, we digress. Anyway, he's accused of failing to cooperate with an investigation by the governing body, as well as with obstructing the investigation by concealing, tampering with, or destroying evidence. This basically means he's refused to hand over his mobile phone to ICC authorities for his personal reasons. So anyway, Jayasuriya has got into the crosshairs of Alex Marshall. He's a general manager of the ICC anti-corruption unit. He announced an investigation into serious allegations of corruption in Sri Lanka, and confirmed that they are investigating a number of people. So apparently the time period we're looking at is when Jayasuriya was chairman of selectors. This is obviously what they're looking into. Every side has two stories, and this is an ongoing investigation, so we're not accusing or assuming anything here. So in response, Jayasuriya says the charges do not contain allegations pertaining to match fixing, pitch fixing, or any other similar corrupt activity. The charges allege that I have not been cooperative and not assisted their investigations. He added, I have always conducted myself with integrity and transparency with matters concerning the sport, and I will continue to do so. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. Why are you getting rid of your phone? For personal reasons. What's on that phone?
Yes.
For a start.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a couple of WhatsApp groups that are a bit questionable sometimes, isn't it? You might not want your mum to see everything. But, what is on his phone that's that concerning and that worrying that he can't hand it over to be investigated when people are alleging there is issues potentially or in this this huge conversation to do with match fixing or kind of corruption in any way? Surely you would want to be able to clear your name and make sure you are not involved. I think we wouldn't even be talking about Sanif Jayasuriya. His name wouldn't be even in the public arena if it wasn't for the fact that he didn't want to give up his phone.
Yeah, you're exactly right. To me, I look at it straight off the bat, and I always thought Jayasuriya was a very classy individual. So I'm surprised that he's part of this conversation. But if you've got nothing to hide, and it's the same with anything, if you have nothing to hide, take a look, mate. Take a look. That's all you need to go. Go and take a look and come back to me saying that everything's okay. But there must be something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's frustrating as well now because forevermore he will be tarnished with he wasn't involved in some corruption.
No.
It doesn't matter if he's found guilty or not. His name has been brought forward to it. He is facing a charge, technically, isn't he? Yeah. So he's forever going to have that tarnish. Now he's got 14 days from when it was put forward to him to respond to the charges formally. I'm sure he'll do that, and I'm sure this will get pushed along. And hopefully we find that there's no involvement. We hope as well that there isn't anything that's been going on, and this investigation is done. It's the right thing to do, but actually nobody did anything. It's all good. Sadly, I don't believe that's going to happen. For whatever reason, we know why it's going on. Greed, isn't it? Money, greed, going on around the world. But we hope that there aren't players involved in this. Maybe it's a few shady bookmakers, but let's hope that we don't find anything untoward that has been happening. Just after I disrespected Jayasuriya saying is he an all-rounder? 21 centuries in one-day cricket, Rob, 445 one-day internationals, 323 wickets.
Yeah, they're probably classed as an all-rounder in my eyes.
Yeah, all right, he's an all-rounder then.
I'd say I was an all-rounder with 200 runs and 20 wickets on a year, mate, so he can definitely claim it.
I reckon. So keeping it on this horrible theme of corruption match fixing, a name that I didn't really want to bring up. I know one of our listeners brought him up in their favourite team, I think, or at least give him a shout as one of their favourite players. But Danish Kaneria.
Oh,
Kaneria?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've got to talk about him. It makes me feel a little bit dirty, but let's have a quick chat about this. So this week, ex-Essex spinner, ex-Pakistan spinner, and ex-match fixer, Danish Kaneria, he's finally decided to grow a pair and admit his guilt. 6 years after the event of being charged, kicked out the game, he's finally admitted that he did what he did and he was wrong. So he's 37-year-old now. He's apologised to his young teammate of the time at Essex, Mervyn Westfield, who actually ended up spending time in prison after Kaneria coerced him into taking part in this match-fixing scandal. Kaneria said, it's been 6 years. I lost everything. I lost friends, respect from fans, and I want to apologise to Mervyn Westfield, my Essex teammates, Essex Cricket Club, and the fans, to Pakistan and my fans around the world, and to my wife and family. I've let them all down. He added, if the ECB, International Cricket, ICC, and other bodies would give me a second chance, I can help to educate young people in cricket. Teach them if you do wrong, you are finished, like me. Apparently, because of this, Essex police are now said to be reassessing the investigation as well. So, Kaneria, fourth highest wicket taker for Pakistan. Bear in mind, he was 31, still playing, still decent cricketer. Massive talent, and obviously, what a waste and a ruined career. Not only his own, but obviously of Mervyn Westfield's as well. So. Not something we want to have to dig up, but it's come through, Rob, this week. And what do you reckon?
It's a real mess, mate, because it completely affected Westfield's life. The guy went to prison for 4 months based on this spot fixing allegation at the time that eventually he was part of. But it is Kaneria's influence and the pressure applied to him to give him money, which was the problem, because it was, hey, we need to concede 12 runs on this over that I bowl, and that's kind of how it worked. Why is it taking him 6 years to come out and go, hey, I'm an arsehole? Why is it taking 6 years to come clean after the other guy's been to prison? The other guy might not have gone to prison if Kaneria had come out and gone, I'm guilty, I did this, I did that. Instead, he's let someone else take the hell of it. And I feel this really pisses me off, because I feel as though he's trying to make a go of it now, thinking, I might be able to get a bit of a career after this, educating people and earn a living on the wrong things that I've done. Well, actually, you're owning up something 6 years ago, and I hope they throw the book at him for it.
Yeah, exactly. If there's anything more that comes from this, let's hope that the authorities can actually make sure that this is everything that can be done is done. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Is like, if he's going to just offer it out of the goodness of his heart and just go and train people up and just give talks, but like we spoke about a little while ago, ex-England all-rounder Chris Lewis. He went to prison, didn't he? He got into a lot of mischief, and he's done and talking to people and look, this is what happened to me when I finished in the game. Make sure you're prepared for the end of the sport. You hear it in so many different sports, don't you? That players, they come out of that dressing room, they've been looked after. The daily routines all there, and then when they finish, that camaraderie, the dressing room, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go next. So it is good to have those people that have made mistakes. But this guy, 6 years later, it's the same as Salman Butt. It's the same as the Pakistan malarkey, isn't it? When Mohammed Amir got with 19-year-old at the time, wasn't he? He got pulled into that.
Yep.
Experienced people you look up to, that you respect, that you don't feel like you can necessarily say no to, putting pressure on young, impressionable players. It's an absolute disgrace, and I don't really want to see much more of Danish Kaneria. Good on him for finally owning up, but come on.
It's a shocker. And the timeline of events annoys me as well. December 2012, he appeals against the verdict, and it's deferred. April 2013, rearranged ECB appeal, hearing that Kaneria failed to overturn the spot fixing. August 2014, he tries to do it again. It's deemed totally without merit and rejected by the court. So he's been trying for so many years, or for the first couple of years, to try and get it overturned, knowing that he's in the wrong. It infuriates me.
Yeah, not a big fan of that. So anyway, we'll put a pin in that one for now, and we'll see if anything more comes up from it. But that's that. I think we've spoken enough about dodginess in the cricket world in the last kind of 6 months or so. We're doing this podcast with sandpaper and all this sort of nonsense. So keeping it county, I suppose we could say. Robert Croft, everyone's favourite Welsh English spinner. He's paid the price, Rob. Glamorgan have had an awful season, and he's been sacked. Head coach of Glamorgan. Croft spent 32 years at the county. That is a one-club man, isn't it? Yeah. He's been a player, assistant coach, head coach, and now that's it for him. As well as a new head coach, Glamorgan, they're also set to appoint a new director of cricket after Hugh Morris relinquished his dual role shared with his ECB duties. So big changes coming up for Glamorgan. Croft has said, after finishing my playing career, it was one of my dreams to coach at this great club, and I'm pleased to have been able to fulfil that dream and play a part in developing the next generation of Welsh cricketers. Bit racist, Rob. Croft said in a statement, I leave knowing that Glamorgan has a number of extremely talented cricketers who can take the club forward. Obviously, recently signing Billy Root. So that'll be interesting to know if he knew their new coach was coming in. So just quickly, just looking at what it is, despite taking Glamorgan T20 knockout stages in 2016 and 2017, so they've had good success there. They did finish bottom of both County Championship Division 2 and the South Division of the One Day Cup, as well as obviously missing out on qualification this year to the quarterfinals of the T20. Crofty, just to give you a bit of context, most capped English player for Glamorgan, 21 tests, 50 ODIs, and the only player to achieve the double of 1,000 first-class wickets and 10,000 first-class runs with the Welsh County. And also the last Glamorgan captain to win a trophy in 2004. 10,000 runs out of all that. Sorry you've lost your job, Crofty, but 10,000 first-class runs, that's incredible achievement. I suppose longevity helped, but...
Yeah, he could bat, though. He was decent. Definitely. Number 8 for England, maybe, for a while, but it'll be a loss. It'll be a loss to Glamorgan to lose someone with that ilk that's been around forever and a day. It's the same when Notts lost Paul Johnson, right? When he came on the podcast and was talking about it, it takes time to adapt, and whatever Robert Croft has got planned next, he might not even know, but it's going to take time for the poor bloke to work out how to brush his teeth in the morning and what he does when he's got nothing to do with his day and he's not organising the world. It's a completely different change, But in a way, it's a good thing for Glamorgan because sometimes, or I feel that every coach has a period of time where they add benefit to a club or to a franchise or whatever it is. And then eventually that becomes stale and things start to change and new people come in. And if things don't start working, fingers get pointed and the ethos that they were running on starts to get lost. And I'm not saying that's happened here, but it looks like things have started to become a little bit stale, a little bit static. Things are going backwards. And what do you change? Well, you can't change 11 players on the pitch every time. It's got to come from the top and what is being pushed down and how we want us to play the game and the people we're paying to come and play for our club. And it sounds like it's probably the right thing, but it'll be sad times for Crofty.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, it's one of those, isn't it, where it's just, maybe it was just ready for a change. You know, as much as we like Robert Croft, you know, from a Glamorgan perspective, you just need a change, don't you? The message maybe isn't always as clear. And he's been in an authority position there for a number of years, because obviously he was captain for quite some years, wasn't it? So, you know, maybe it just needs a fresh approach. They're obviously looking at completely ripping it up and starting again off the field, aren't they? A bit like Durham have done over the last few years. You know, hopefully this will be as bad as it ever gets for Glamorgan, you know, finishing bottom of both groups and not doing much in the T20 this year. So Crofty, loved him as a player. He's another one, talking of Sri Lanka, mate, all this chat about Sri Lanka in the test series when I was over there in 2003, I think it was. He was over there as a drinks carrier. It was a disgrace, really. You think about, you know, he was at the peak of his powers. He's not a young fella then. And he was called up into that squad, I think, after he'd not played for a little while. And they called him up and all he did was carry drinks. And I remember being in the same bar as him, I think on the evening before the third test, and him basically saying that he's done, he's finished with international cricket now.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that he'd been taken on a plane to Sri Lanka to carry drinks.
Yeah,
so it is what you want.
It is a strange one. Do you know the last time he played Test cricket was 2001?
So then it was a recall for that tour then.
Yeah, 2001, his last Test match, Australia's Tour of England, 2001. I love doing this. I'm going to read out this England team. This will tell you the era. So you've got Atherton and Trescothick at the top.
Solid.
Yep, Atherton got out to Glenn McGrath. You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Middle order, Mark Butcher, Mark Ramprakash, Alex Stewart and Ian Ward.
Ian Ward, he looked good for about 5 minutes, and then everyone was just like, nah, he's got a technical issue, he can't make it in Test cricket, and that was it.
Yeah, so, I remember him failing early doors and then going, poor bloke. Next man, I know you're a big fan of him, Craig White.
Yes.
And then we're down into guys that play in the Nottinghamshire Premier League here. Alex Tudor. He's there. Then Robert Croft at 9. And opening bowlers, Andy Caddick, Darren Goff.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect, those boys, wasn't it? So was that the summer of 2001?
Summer 2001.
Yeah. One thing I was looking at last night, don't ask me why, but I was looking back at the India tour that I went on. The first time I went overseas. And it was the team pretty much not far off that, but no Alex Tudor. I think we had the extra spinner and Richard Dawson and somebody else was in. And then Ashley Giles, of course, Tudor, didn't he get 99 in that series against Australia?
He did. I think it was this series he got his 99.
That was Trent Bridge, wasn't it? Poor fella. Yeah. Got stranded. And it's Craig White, he a player, 90 mile an hour. Get him back.
Get him back. I'm just looking at this Australian team, mate, to segue out to Australia here, but this Australian team, you can set your watch by the team every single time they took the field. Michael Slater and Matty Hayden at the top of the order. So this is before Langer.
Yep.
Ponting, Mark Waugh, Steve Waugh, and then one of my favourite Australians of all time, Damien Martin.
Love it. Yep.
Gilchrist, Warne, Lee, Gillespie and McGrath. Oh.
Done. You could tattoo that team, couldn't you? You wouldn't need to worry about it. Yeah,
that's a proper Test match team, that is.
Yeah, just a bit. So... Right, well, moving away from greatness, we worked our way all the way back to the Grace Road in Leicestershire, Rob. Michael Carberry, there's been all weird. There's no smooth way of getting it back from all those legends. But Michael Carberry, I suppose I could have said Carberry did okay in Australia the other year, was the only batsman that seemed to be able to face Mitchell Johnson with some backbone.
Yep.
But I won't say that. Anyway, so he's not played since May, Rob. You might not have known about this. He moved across on loan last summer. So 2017, he moved on loan. Was given the captaincy. And then the start of this year, something went on, and then he's not played since May. He's basically been, it's mutual agreement that he's leaving the county. So it all seemed to unravel this summer. Even back in June, Carberry was considering legal action apparently against the county over the manner in which he lost the captaincy at the start of the summer. All very odd. He even admitted he was given no reason for that decision. So in a very brief statement, and brief statements usually tell you all you need to know about what all they say is Leicestershire County Cricket Club and Michael Carberry have agreed to part company by mutual agreement. We'd like to wish Michael all the very best for the future. The club will not be making any further comment. As soon as somebody says the club will not be making further comment, or I will not be making any further comment, it's basically saying, screw you, we're not interested, got nothing to say here.
Yeah.
Very odd end to an odd stint at a county, and that potentially, could be the end of Michael Carberry in first-class cricket.
That would be a shame. I think he's a hell of a player. He's been through a lot, and he's a real triumph over adversity sort of guy. But Paul Nixon was the man that relieved him as to the role of first-team captain in May, saying he's slightly more reactive than proactive and a man of great integrity, replacing him with Paul Horton, the ex-Lancashire player. Carberry took paid leave at the time to consider his future. Leicestershire made it clear they wanted him to play, and Carberry's taken legal action. So there's a whole lot of stuff that has gone on that is not in the papers. Basically, between Carberry and Nixon. Nixon's quite an abrasive character, so I can see that people would clash with him.
Yeah.
But it's strange. It's very strange to see someone who's 38 in this position. You could imagine someone younger with a bit of an ego ending in this position with a county, but Carberry, someone who seems a pretty good stock, I find it hard to take.
Yeah, have some damn respect, you know what I mean? He's been a 38-year-old player. He's been a top county cricketer for a long time. England international for a period as well. You're basically stripping the captaincy off someone because there's a certain style of captaincy you're not a big fan of. Well, that should have been sorted before the season started. That should have been done before he signed a permanent contract. Have some respect for the man. So, Leicestershire have done a heck of a lot of good business over the last couple of years. Really impressed what they've done. I mean, is it Mohammed Abbas? We're going to talk about him in a minute.
Yep.
Leicestershire picked him up. He's probably the finest start to Test cricket ever by a bowler. But yeah, this has been handled really badly. And obviously there's a huge disconnect somewhere along the line. And I don't think we're ever going to find out exactly what happened. But anyway, let's park that one and let's move it on a pace because there's still plenty to talk about. So I'm going to rattle through these next couple of bits of news, Rob. Martin Guptill, Kiwi biffer. He's going to be missing the upcoming ODI and T20 series against Pakistan. So once Pakistan has got finished with the Aussies, New Zealand come into town playing some games in Abu Dhabi and UAE. So anyway, he's going to be out for that. Trent Bolt, he's already missing the T20 series due to paternity leave. So that's interesting. Obviously, Mitch Santner is also still missing because of his injury. First mention of IPL as we break towards the new season, Rob. We've had a trade.
Wow.
Not the NFL, Rob. It's a trade. But it's not a very exciting trade. It's basically just somebody paying some money. So anyway, South Africa keeper batsman Quinton de Kock, he's the first player to be traded ahead of this December's 2019, the draft of the 2019 season, sorry. So he leaves Royal Challengers Bangalore and would become a member of the Mumbai Indians. It was an all-money deal, so Mumbai have paid the fee RCB paid for de Kock in last year's auction. And obviously, because of the cap on salaries, to make room for de Kock, Mumbai have had to release Bangladeshi quick Mustafa Rahman and Sri Lankan off-spinner Akila Dhananjaya. He had a pretty good 2018 IPL, but with good depth in the wicket-keeping department of Ishan Kishan for the Mumbai Indians, you would assume this is all about him as an opener. So de Kock now, RCB, Sunrisers Hyderabad, Delhi Daredevils and Mumbai Indians. Well on his way to bingo there, mate.
Yeah, he is. He's doing the rounds, but he's a hot commodity, de Kock. He's big time. He's money. 2.8 million core Mumbai Indians played for him, which, doing the maths, is a lot of money.
$500,000 or something like that?
Oh, yeah, probably maybe a little bit more, potentially.
I'm not very good at that changing that over, but yeah, anyway.
He's money, 100, 650s and 30 IPL innings, strike rate of 130. Mumbai Indians are a better team for having him, and whenever you make a trade that makes your team better, it's always the sensible option to do, and this is definitely it. Like, wow, if you're a young Indian lad and you've got Quinton de Kock at the top of the order as a pretty decent player, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a good signing, and I can't wait till next year when he gets traded from Mumbai Indians to somebody else. So,
Fact.
anyway, keeping it T20, Rob, we spoke about it last week, and it's getting exciting now. The inaugural Afghanistan Premier League is coming to its conclusion. We have 2 finalists.
Oh, my God. I never thought you'd get onto it, Rich. I've been that excited. All week I've been like, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to wait till Rich tells me what's going on.
Yeah. I can believe that. Build up the excitement. But before we look at that, we have to talk about a certain man called Hazratullah Zazai.
Nailed it.
The Kabul Zwan. I'm calling him. It's Kabul Zwanan, isn't it? So he's a Kabul Zwananian. Hopefully that's not offensive to anybody. He made history by being a man that's hit 6 sixes in an over.
Yeah.
The disappointing bowler, bless him, slow bowler Afghani Abdullah Mazarai. Some serious hitting. Did you see this, Rob?
I have. Well, I didn't see it live, but I went out my way to watch highlights of this game.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome, wasn't it? I mean, he was just clean hitting, leg side straight. And I think my favourite, I think it was the 5th or 6th ball, was really wide of the off stump, and he still somehow fetched it and put it straight back over the bowler's head. I mean, anyone else would have been looking to hit that through cover or backward point. It was a very full ball, but he just got kind of hooked around the ball and just pumped it straight. So serious hitting.
Yeah, it's a wonderful effort. It doesn't happen very often, right? It feels like Garfield Sobers' 6 sixes was around forever, and it does happen a little bit more now with the game that's how it's played. But one of the things with the 6 sixes was the fact that he tied Yuvraj Singh and Chris Gale for the fastest T20 50 of all time. It's a phenomenal effort by the young lad.
Absolutely, and this is why this tournament's got something about it. Records are being broken, or at least getting close to being broken. So let's have a look anyway. We have our 2 finalists, as I say. Balk Legends will play Kabul Zwanan. The absolutely monumentally one-sided semi-finals, Robs. Shall we have a look?
Yeah, let's break down the semis, mate.
Right, first semi-final, Balk Legends, 235 for 5. Big score. Darwish Razuli, the opener, 78. Chris Gale, we all know about him, 54. Colin Munro, 33. Mohammed Nabi, captain, all-rounder, 47. He picked up the man of the match in the end as well. Nothing really to report on the bowling front. Mujibu Rahman, everybody's favourite leg spinner. Well, second, maybe first, second. Everyone's 17, 18-year-old favourite leg spinner. None for 51 off 3 overs, Rob. Woo. Ibrahim Zadran as well, none for 32 off 2, so 17 and 60 and over. Wow, those boys got some, didn't they?
Yeah.
In response, lads, what were you doing? 64 all out. Andre Fletcher at the top of the order, 13 top scored. Joint top scored with Fazal Niazai. That was it, 13.1 overs, 4 for 12 off 3.1 for Mohammed Nabi. That's a captain's game.
Yeah.
Stick the team on your back in the semi-final. Few runs, 4 wickets for next to nothing. Get on to the final.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous hammering, isn't it? I think I picked Balker as my team last episode. I'm just putting that out there. I'm not one to jump on a bandwagon, but I was all over it. Nabi's had an amazing game. 47 off 16 balls and 4 for 12. Dear diary.
16 balls is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So, well, they're going to be playing, as I said, the Kabul Zwanans. 192 for 9 batting first for them. Luke Ronke, is there ever a T20 game somewhere around the world where he's not playing?
No, they don't exist.
He didn't really do much, but I just wanted to mention that. Colin Ingram as well, 44 for him. This is a team, though, as well, that had Wayne Parnell, Colin Ingram, Laurie Evans, Rashid Khan, man of the match, 35 not out. Plenty of good players in this team. So 192 for 9. A couple of wickets apiece for Udana, Rahman and Shahid Afridi. Yes, that's Shahid Afridi. In response, 102 all out for the Paktia Panthers. What was going on with batting second in these semis? 27 top scored for Shahid Afridi batting at 6. But 4 for 20 for probably our favourite leg spinner in the world, Rashid Khan. He's got him over the line. And prime time Rashid Khan, he's going to be bringing it for the final.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that is going to be a belter.
Yeah, final will be there. It's probably the 2 best team. Balker look absolutely hot. They look hot. So that's going to be Tuesday, the game. I'm going to stick with my boys, Rich. I'm going to say Balker's going to be the team. If you've got Colin Munro and Chris Gale in your team, and Ravi Bapara, and Tenduskarda, and Naab, and Nabi, I'm just like, you can't beat that, bro. You can't beat that team. You can try, but you won't.
But as the famous words of Marvel, but we have a Hulk.
But we have
and they have Rashid Khan. The Zwananians have Rashid Khan, Rob.
They do, but I don't think their batting's as good. They've got Ronke at the top. Wayne Parnell's batting at 3, and I'm not quite sure how that works.
Stop being serious. Nobody cares. We've got Rashid Khan. There's analysis.
You want analysis? Khan.
There's analysis. But we can't wait anyway. I'm so pleased that this tournament has happened and is happening, and it's awesome, and it's just good fun. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, good idea.
Get back to some sensible Test cricket, Robert.
Sensible Test cricket. Let's get a good forward defence out there, mate.
Absolutely. Well, second test of the 2-test series between Pakistan and Australia. If you remember, the first test finished with Usman Khawaja's mammoth, epic rearguard defence in the to secure the draw for Australia. But I think the sensible pair of presenters of this podcast both said that Pakistan would win this second test. And yes, they won it in quite some convincing style, winning the game by 373 runs, Rob.
It's a hammer.
I was waiting for your little whistle of, woo, that sort of thing that you do every so often.
I normally do that, don't I?
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I was expecting that.
So anyways. Happy. I was happy.
I'm glad you're happy. I think we kind of caught the start of this last podcast, but let's just quickly run through. First innings, Pakistan 282, 94 for Fakhar Zaman, Sarfraz Ahmad, captain wicketkeeper. Everyone loves the captain and the wicketkeeper logo, sort of denotion against the names, don't they, Rob?
They do. I like
that, aren't you, Rob? Star and cross. Big fan. 94 for him anyway. So 292 in with the ball. Mitchell Stark 2 for 37, 4 for 78 for the chirpy, never stopped talking Nathan Lyon, apparently. Sarfraz Ahmad was saying that he had a lot to say for himself, did Mr. Lyon. So some things don't change with Australia. Usman Khawaja could not follow his form, but Australia really 39. Aaron Finch top score, 34 down the order for Mitch Stark. But the talking point of this game will be Bilal Asif. No, it won't. I joke. It's going to be Mohamed Abbas. 5 for 33, Rob. This man is ridiculous. We're going to have to talk about him for a little while after this. So Pakistan's second innings, following up from that Australia's 145 all-out, Pakistan put 409 declared on the board. No centurions in a score of 400, but we did get a 99 for Babar Azam, an 81 for Sarfraz Ahmad, who had a great test match. Fakhar Zaman, Azhar Ali, both in the 60s. And Australia again, Nathan Lyon, 4 for 135. For him. And Australia's final innings of the game, their second innings, 164 all out. A weird scorecard. You've basically got 4 players that have got 20 and above, between 20 and 28 and 43, and then the rest of them, 4, 5, 0, 3, 6, 3, absent, hurt, Khawaja, done, injured. He's going to miss a lot of time by the look of it. So 43 for Marcus Labashard, Shagney, don't know, something like that. Anyway, Mohamed Abbas, 5 for 62. 10 wickets in the match, Rob. Mohamed Abbas is ridiculous.
Yeah, he is.
28 years old. He's now played 10 test matches. Is that right? So far, so good?
10 test matches, yep, nailing it.
10 test matches. How many wickets?
59.
Because my computer suddenly died. 59. And tell me that average. Tell the world his average.
15.64.
Whoa.
Which makes him best bowling averages for someone who's taken 50 wickets in test matches, the 4th all time. 4th.
Where has he been, Pakistan?
Don't know.
What have you been doing? Why have you been hiding him in a cupboard?
It's just an incredible record. I was talking last episode about his first-class career. Almost 400 wickets at an average of 19. The stats are just... They're phenomenal. And he bowls superbly in England, and now he's just going around the world doing his thing, and he's picking up wickets in Dubai. It's much deserved. He's a bloody good bowler. He's no nonsense, just hits the seam, top of off stump, and he's bloody good at it. Yeah,
it's just ridiculous, basically, isn't it? So, I mean, I don't even know what to say about the guy. He's just unbelievable the way he's come through Test cricket. Whoever was the scout, whoever was the person at Leicestershire that said, you know what, let's grab this lad. He's hardly had a sniff of international cricket, maybe just started international cricket. Let's get him. Got him for a couple of years, haven't they, at least? And this is what you get. This is just sensational. So he is going to be with a big name in world cricket that we're going to be talking about. And it's just such a shame that he's come to it quite late, because he's certainly showing that maybe he should have been picked a little bit later, but also giving hope to those players that don't come into Test cricket until a little bit later on.
Yeah, whenever I hear of people coming in quite late in the career, you know who I always think of?
Who?
Martin McCaig.
Wow.
If you can remember Martin McCaig, I think it was 19...
Can I remember Martin McCaig? Yeah.
The big Kent seamer. I think he came in about 94 Australian series, and he bowled a...
No, he was an Aussie.
No, Martin McCaig was English.
No, I know he was English, but he was an Aussie.
Born in Australia.
Yeah, he was one of those. He was a plastic Englishman, or whatever you want to call it.
Not one of those. But he bowled a pile of dross in Australia, got smashed around by Mark Taylor and Michael Slater, and never played again.
Wasn't he a unit? I might be wrong. I was saying he's an Aussie, but I thought he was. Maybe he just sounds like he's an Aussie. But anyway, he was massive. He was a unit. He looked like he was brought up on a farm eating raw steaks and chasing emus. So there's a good chance he was an Aussie.
Yeah, he was a bloody beast. He was huge. I don't think... It was kind of from the... he's a bigger lad than Samit Patel, but a similar stocky sort of build. I'm
going taller.
Yeah, a lot taller, I'd say. But looking at here, his cheeks are as chubby as my little 5-year-old who should have chubby cheeks. So he's a big unit.
Love that, mate. Love that. Anything that has a reference back to Martin McCaig can't be bad, can it?
No, it can't. I think one thing we do need to talk about is this Australian team. The first test, they did very, very well for themselves in a challenging time. This second test match, they just lacked that little bit of backbone and was given an absolute drubbing, which is kind of what we expected to see out the series, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, the new look Australian team, as we have to call them from now on, they've huffed and puffed, haven't they? They've had a go, but they're just not good enough. Pakistan, this is a really, really I think it's an underrated, going under the radar Pakistan team. They're a good team, and they've started to introduce some new players over the last 12 months or so, aren't they? You know, obviously we spoke about basketball, so the likes of Babar Azam and Azhar Ali and others, and they're getting some depth in there. So this is a good team. Really, really good team. So from one 10-wicket performance to another 10-wicket performance, Rob, we move back to India, West Indies. And again, I think we predicted this outcome. I don't think we're going to get any pats on the back from anyone for predicting it. India, 10-wicket win, 2-0 in the two-match test series against the West Indies, this time in Hyderabad. Umesh Yadav is the man getting the headlines in this one. So a quick run through again. 311 West Indies, good effort in the first innings. I think we spoke briefly about this one last time. Roston Chase with 100, did well. 6 for 88 for Umesh Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav got himself 3 for 85 as well, but Umesh getting his opportunity, he did well. This was the ill-fated debut of Shiv Thakur, if we remember, who lasted 1.4 balls before he went off with a snapped elastic band or hamstring or whatever he wants to call it. I think it was hamstring anyway. Don't pick me up if it's not. Right, into India's first innings, 367 all out. PP Shaw 70, simple game test match cricket. Rahane got himself 80, Rishabh Pant 92. Plenty of nice lead there. Well, a steady lead there, should we say, 50 odd for India. So it was all about the second innings, wasn't it? And West Indies just fell short. 127 all out. 2 ducks at the top of the order. Shai Hope 28. Ambrish 38 and a couple of double figures down the bottom of the order, but nowhere near good enough. Umesh Yadav followed up his 6 with a 4 for 45. Ravi Ashwin 2 for 24 and 3 for 12 for Ravi Chandran Ashwin and Ravinder Jadeja. I'll get them 2 right. 3 for 12 for Mr. Jadeja. 11 overs, 12 runs conceded. Sensational. In response, nobody needed to get panicked in the dressing room. 10-wicket win. 33 not out for PP Shaw. KL Rahul 33 not out also. 75 for none. The game was won. 10-wicket win. Umesh Yadav 10 wickets in the game. We move on to the ODI, which is actually started today, Rob.
Yeah, this is it's again, we say it a fair bit, but it's everything you expected it to be. I think we're about halfway through this game when we touched base last time. India rubbed their noses in it. This West Indies team is better than what it used to be, but it's so inconsistent. You never quite know what you're going to get. It's Forrest Gump on steroids, mate. Happy for Umesh Yadav to get a few wickets. You know, toiled a little bit in England, and it's good for him to get the wickets. He's played quite a lot of cricket now, Rashid. 120 wickets in Test cricket. Still not sold on him being the all singing, all dancing opening bowler that you want week in, week out playing Test match cricket for India. I'm not quite sure he's that guy, but one guy who is that guy is PP Shaw, mate. Oh my God, 237 runs in 2 Test matches, and he's averaging 118.5.
And who was asking for him, Rob? I believe it was you, wasn't it? You were an early shouter of PP Shaw. I was the Rishabh Pant shout. You were the PP Shaw shout, I think, early days. So we're going to attach those to our banners. Mm-hmm.
We definitely are. There is a documentary, Rich, and I've not seen it, but it's called Beyond All Boundaries. Apparently it's on Netflix. It's about cricket in India for the 2011 World Cup, which I was there for. But it's got PP Shaw in the documentary, and that is 7 years ago, and he would have been 11 years old. So
is that when he was spanking about 700 in an innings in the Oval, Maiden Oval?
Oh, it must have been, mate. He's got a phenomenal record.
Yeah,
I need to go and watch that documentary. If anyone's watched it, comment below and let us know how good it was. It was Craig Havelock who sent us that and saying, "Hey, you need to go and watch this because the guy is special." A fairly pushy parent, I think, came into the conversation, but the guy just oozes class. 100 on debut in the Ranjit Trophy, 100 in the Dunleap Trophy on debut, and 100 on Test match on debut. Captain in the under-19s, which won the under-19 World Cup earlier this year. Sachin Tendulkar's a huge fan. I'm reading this, and thank you to Swapan Locke, who commented on our YouTube channel when I put, "How good will PP Shaw be?" And he's gone, "Dude, this guy is literally the man. He's a winner. He scores runs, and he's doing exactly that in Test match cricket."
It's been a sensational start to his international career. He's always scored runs. He seems to have led wherever he's been. He seems to be a sensible guy. Pushy parent, from what you were saying. If that is the case, it's not always a bad thing. It can be if they're pushing you in the wrong direction. You've seen too many people coming into sport because parents and others want them to. But if he loves the game and if he loves scoring runs and he can't wait to score more runs and play more cricket, then it's not been a bad thing having a little bit of a nudge behind him, especially seeing that talent.
Yeah,
he could be anything, couldn't he? I mean, it's almost sacrilege in India to say somebody could be better than Sachin Tendulkar.
He could be,
but you never know. This is what concerns me a little bit with him. Virat Kohli is the guy that's been carrying the weight on his shoulders of being the next, isn't he? But PP Shaw, my goodness, the pressure that's going to be on this kid. A billion people in India are all looking to him as the kind of the next coming, isn't it, of Tendulkar and the man to pin the hopes on as they go forward. So let's hope he can carry that weight of expectation. But my goodness, he's got the ability.
Yeah, he definitely has, mate.
Brilliant. Okay, so I just mentioned that we are moving into ODI territory now. There's going to be 5 ODIs coming up for India West Indies, followed by 3 T20s. And we're underway in the first one already, Rob. So we obviously won't go into it too much. But West Indies 112 for 3 off 20.6 overs. 51 for Powell at the top of the order. And then Shai Hope 31 not out. So who knows where we could be when we come to look at this next time. But West Indies, an okay start. But we can't look past India again for both of these series, especially in India.
Yeah, the thing is with this West Indies team, it frustrates you so much. They've always had some of the best white ball players in the world, and they just never play for their national team. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is. It's frustrating, but there's a lot of off-the-field nonsense and politics, like with Zimbabwe cricket, isn't it, that they need to overcome and work through. They are getting there. I think they are improving this. They did dish out some contracts recently, red ball format, red ball, white ball, trying to new incentives for the players, etc. So hopefully they will start sorting their houses out and be a stronger team going forward, because the world needs a strong West Indies cricket team.
So last time around, Rich, we spent a bit of time and was talking about some of our favourite sledges of all time and funny cricket stories of Jeff Marsh playing a straight drive into David Boone, completely starker swinging across the line and that sort of thing. And some of the guys on YouTube and Facebook. So we've got Chris Tall, who popped on the podcast one time. This is a bit pushing the boundaries. So he was bowling to a young lad who nicked off 3 times in an over and the umpire never gave it out. That happens in club cricket all the time. Tawley turned round to the umpire and said, "He's got more nicks than a self-harmer."
That's cutting it a bit. No, I won't even go further.
He's cutting it. You can cut the tension with a knife, mate. It's dark. It's funny, but it's dark.
Yes, and these things do happen. They do fall out of mouths on occasion on cricket fields. But I, like I said last week, mate, I don't really have much to add to any of this conversation.
Yep, that's right. That's fair enough. Keep it. You don't want any more bans.
Yeah, look, he wasn't what I said he was. Anyway, the guy. For those who know, they know.
He was an excellent gentleman. I thought you said
miserable something or other. I think I said. Yeah. Anyway, let's not worry about that.
I love it.
Yeah, there's some great ones out there. There's so many that everybody knows, isn't there? And that's the great thing with some of these sledges. They've just become, I think half the time people just don't even know who it was anymore.
Yeah.
And just cricket gives stories anyway. I don't know why it's going to bed. It's not a sledge, but it's like everybody knows the old story about the night watchman stumped second ball for 6. Those things. Cricket just lends itself to those genius, funny comments. And like I say, you'll never kind of remember half the time who they were about, but they're just funny and they just, keep them rolling. That's what we say. What do you got anyway? What else you got, Rob?
So there's a couple more here. So Craig Havelock on Facebook, he's the one. He's been dropping Ian Bell stats at left, right, and centre to us, and the tick for the Netflix documentary which got PP Shaw in it, guys. So I'll put that in the comments so you've got the name and you can go and view it. He's got Glenn McGrath bowling to Mike Atherton. After playing a miss a few times, McGrath says to Atherton, "It might help if you get the crap off the end of your bat." Atherton looks down at the toe of bat. McGrath goes, "Nah, mate, other end." I like that.
That's a beauty, isn't it? They're the sort of ones that are just brilliant, aren't they? Just the little ones. I've just got one in front of me here as well, actually. I've just stumbled upon Merv Hughes. There's about 1 million of Merv Hughes, isn't there? He's got some chat, that boy. Apparently he's bowling some absolute beauties to Robin Smith.
You know what? That's the one I was going to use today as well, that exact one.
Sorry. Yeah, you just made me look at it, though, just as soon as you said it. It's like, what is it? He couldn't even get an edge, couldn't he? So just Merv turned to him and said, "If you turn the bat over, you'll get the instructions, mate."
Oh, no, it's not the same one that I've got. I've got Merv Hughes and Robin Smith. This is awesome. So after it's probably the same speller thing. He's bowling, and Big Merv loses his rag and he goes, "You can't freaking bat." Next ball, Smith proceeds to belt Hughes to the fence for 4 runs and replies, "Hey, Merv, we're a good pair, me and you. I can't bat, you can't bowl."
Love it.
So the other one that Craig did is a personal favourite. So he was having a bit of a niggly game back in England. I think it was actually about 2012, maybe 2013 at a push, and was playing in the same team. Playing for his team, he was captain. We weren't in the best position in the game. However, we did end up winning big. And me and Craig were batting, and it was going okay, and it was hard. And I scraped my way through to 50, and it was a long 50. It took 30 odd overs to get there, and the bowler was giving me some grief. And anyway, started to tee off, and the first 2 balls of the over went for 4, and then I played and missed trying to hit the next one for 4, as you do. And loudmouth opening bowler, so everyone in the village can hear, said, "You didn't bloody hit that one for 4, did you?" Anyway. Next ball goes for 6, straight back over his head, and my mate who I'm batting with goes, "Here, mate, he didn't hit that one for 4 either, did he?"
I love that. How red was he looking at the time, the bowler?
It was brilliant. It was one of those games as well. That guy was a ticking time bomb, and he eventually ended up blowing up halfway through the game and trying to square up to someone. Just classic village cricket.
After he got smacked for 6, after his ridiculously timed sledge, did he do that thing where he scuffed his the front foot mark? Just that was why he got hit for 6.
Oh, he did. I hit him for a couple more. That he ended up. I'm just self-plugging a little bit here, but I ended up on 168, and I took him for about 90 over the next 4 overs.
I blame the captain.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah. Right. You got any more then, Rob? Any others you want to drop in there?
That's me done. I'm all out of sledges, mate.
There's a couple I'll probably just drop in as well. Jarvid Miandad, another one. We always talk about his Merv Hughes. You could write a book about Merv Hughes just on his own, couldn't you, just for all his sledges? But there was one, Jarvid Miandad, Pakistan legend. Apparently he turned around to, I'm not going to do an accent because that's just going to be really upset everybody, that will. But anyway, he turned around to Merv Hughes and said, "You should be a bus driver. You're too fat to be playing cricket." So few overs later, Merv dismissed Jarvid Miandad and just rang past him going, "Ding, ding, tickets, please." I'm a big fan of that one.
That's funny.
That is funny with a capital F. There's a couple more I quite like, and they are very old. It shows you that sledging wasn't invented in the 80s by the Australian team. Fred Truman, the dour Yorkshire opening bowler, fast bowler. Apparently he was bowling against somebody. I'm not going to worry about the names here, but he was bowling at someone, and they nicked off, and it's gone straight through Slip's legs. And you can almost imagine the Slip just going, oh, God. And turning and going, sorry, Fred, I should have kept my legs closed. So Fred just turned to him and just went, so should your mother.
And that, now, I never saw Fred Truman play, but I've seen him speak quite a lot. And that is classic Fred Truman.
It really is, isn't it? Really, really is. There's just one more as well, just while we're on Fred, actually, just to finish off with him. I wasn't around, by the way, when he was bowling, so I'm getting on a little bit, but not that old now. So let's just put a pin in that one now. Anyway, so somebody's walking, an Australian batsman walking onto the field. Obviously, Fred wouldn't have been bowling at the time. He must have been on the boundary, just near it. That's my guess of this anyway. But anyway, he walks down the steps, he opens the gate, he goes to close the gate, and Fred just turns to him and goes, don't bother shutting it, son, you won't be there long enough. That's a class.
That is
sledging. Yeah, go on.
That is good cricket sledging. It's funny, it's impactful, and it lasts generations.
The one I love as well, and it's not a particular person, but I don't even know where I heard it from, and it must have probably been said a million times, but when you have the members' pavilions at where the batsmen have to walk out through the members' pavilion, this is where you get the classic, the little snide remarks, isn't it? So, and I don't know, I have no idea who it was and where it was, but just the people that when the batsman's walking out, somebody will just quietly say, see you in a minute. You just know as the batsman's taking his guard, he's going to be like, see it.
How dare you? It's the sort of thing you get. You play at some cricket grounds in club cricket, and they do have quite a lot of older people watching the game who used to play at the club, and they're always there just chirping away, aren't they? You're down at third man and you're not bowling very well, and they're just making sure you know.
Yeah, pitch it up. I think my response generally, if I'm bowling crap, is like, well, if I was that good, I wouldn't be playing here, would I?
Yeah, exactly. That's always my thing. If I was any good, I wouldn't be paying to play, mate.
Exactly. I didn't mean it.
I want to leave you on this one, mate. And I'm rolling back. It's not a sledge, but I feel we've touched on something pretty special today, mate. I feel like Martin McCaig being dropped into the conversation is an all-time relic of the game for me. That 94 Ashes series, me and my brother watched the VHS maybe 100 times, and Martin McCaig was absolutely abysmal. So I've pulled up Martin McCaig's stats.
Yep.
Okay, guy's 49 years old now. He's still not quite over it. But his major teams are England, Herefordshire, Kent, Western Australia, born in Northern Ireland.
No, you're kidding me.
No, but brought up in Australia.
Yes. Result.
So
Australia.
Acknowledges the bomb. Apparently had a very good first test match in 1993 against the Aussies at Trent Bridge.
Sixfer. Did he get sixfer?
And bowled very, very fast. And he got 4 for 121 was his best bowling. But he was quick. He was genuinely quick. And then he dropped out of the team and he came in for this first test match in Brisbane. I'm just going to reel off some of his stats here because I can just remember him being leathered around the park. He did get 2 wickets in the first innings, so I'm not giving him enough credit. 2 for 96 off 19 overs going at 5 and over. His 2 wickets was Craig McDermott and Glenn McGrath.
They don't count.
Then he went out and batted. Night Watchman got 1, cleaned up by Craig McDermott.
Good lad.
Didn't bowl in the next innings because he'd already fallen injured where he couldn't bowl, and then got a golden duck to finish off his test match career, LBW to Shane Warne.
Get that flight back home, mate.
It is a bit of a damp end to his test match career, but 6 wickets at an average of 65.
Right. For any loyal listener that is still listening now at the end of this podcast, at the tail end, as we're batting out for a draw at the end here, name your favourite random cricketer. Martin McCaig, we're talking that sort of bloke. We're not talking Tendulkar or Lara. We're talking who's your favourite random cricketer.
Favourite random cricket? I think that's a good one because everyone's got them. And for me, Ian Salisbury's always one that hurts when I say his name. I'm like, oh God, he was really crap. But one of the most interesting things about Martin McCaig, he's Irish, right? He's an Irish lad. On his stag do in Dublin, 72 pints of Guinness he drank. According to Steve Marsh's autobiography, 72.
How many days? This is the context, though. If it's like a week, then that's not too bad. 10 a day, but if it was 2 days or something, then that's all-time great stuff.
That's ridiculous. I do remember. I can't remember who it was. One of the guys we used to play cricket with. He drank 100 pints in a week for his birthday. It might have been his 21st.
Right. Who was that?
I think that was Smithy.
Oh my word! Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah, he's just incredible. There's an article on Martin McCaig on Cricinfo, so I've got to get into this. I've got to go. First time I sledged, he goes, I sledged a lot. Just try and unsettle the batsman. I used to sledge while I was batting sometimes too. I still do while playing club cricket now. This was 3 years ago, so he was 46. I've done it since I started playing cricket. I grew up in the bush, so it was pretty standard to be going and getting stuck in.
I knew he grew up in the bush.
He definitely did. But good old Martin McCaig. That's made my day talking about Martin McCaig. And when we're done here, mate, I'm going to go to bed, and I really hope I don't start dreaming about Martin McCaig.
That'd be terrifying. Terrifying. Just to clarify as well, what I was asking for a second ago, random cricket doesn't have to be a favourite, but just who's the one that pops in your mind? If someone says random cricketer, I'm the one for me, Rob, Aftab Habib. You remember him? He played like 1 or 2 Test matches for England, batting at 5 or 6 from, I think he was Leicestershire.
I do know the name.
Exactly. Why is he still in my head? Why do I still know the name Aftab Habib?
He's 46 years old. When did he play? He played 1999. He played 2 Test matches against New Zealand.
Why do I know this? It's ridiculous.
Oh.
I don't need that knowledge. That's it. I'll draw the line there. So anyway, give us your random.
There you go. Aftab Habib. Aftab Habib, who went on to coach Hong Kong national team. Just pointing that out there as well.
Good lad. Hey, carried on. Good career. But why are those in your head? Tell us who's in your head for no reason.
I don't know. But Rich, that's a bloody good episode, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the listeners who are checking us out. There's some good stuff coming around the corner. Make sure you comment below and let us know your most randomest cricketer. Rich, anything else from yourself today?
No, I'm good.
We are good to rock and roll, boys. Have yourselves a great week. 6 a.m. Monday morning. This is in your inbox. Till next time.